Well, they've gerrymandered my district in Vienna, and it's taken in a number of miles of farmland. And he said, I have to appeal to those people and tell them I'm interested in agriculture. So we carted him out, and a picture taken looking on a cow, and a cow looking at him. And or another figure that some of these international figures was interesting, but another figure was Pierre Mendès France, who was the former premier of France. He was a very tiny man, and I said, again, he was in the Great Hall, and I said, maybe we better look, see, we could get a little platform for the lectern, and he agreed. I thought it would be silly to pretend that he wasn't short. So I looked in, and then I asked the women at the desk, and I said, what is going on in there? Well, it's being occupied. I said, yes, but by what? Why, it's the Faculty Women's Club. And they were having some kind of fair, I guess. They were examining fabrics. And so we waited, and I said, when are they going to disband down there? They're supposed to be. Well, I said, let's go in. They seem to be just up there pulling up strands of fabric, looking at them. And he said, what is going on, and what is that, Mr. Lowry? And I said, that is a phenomenon that happens on campuses. It's called the Faculty Women's Club. And he said, oh, and we don't have those in French University. I said, probably not. But, I didn't hear you. Oh, just a few more and then I'll quit. Tense situations, I listed some of those. World Affairs, I remember on the Middle East, we had an Israeli commentator, and the threatening speeches by the Arab students on campus, and were very threatening. We luckily had a Middle East scholar from UCLA, forgotten his name, Malcolm, but was pro-Arab, incidentally, very definitely pro-Arab. And he stayed, luckily, the whole week. And after seeing this baiting of the Israeli, plus the violent speeches they were giving at other times, he called them into session at the end of the the institute. And I went in, this was in the South Ballroom, and he really lectured them and lambasted them and told them they had done more disservice to their cause by their behavior than any Israeli could even possibly do to their cause. And I remember a Palestinian Week speaker in Carver and a demonstration by Arab students, and suddenly we were pursued by a few Israeli students on campus and demanded equal time, and we got them equal time for Israelis. Or the Nigerian Civil War brought on one of the most threatening situations I think I've ever experienced, and I, without thinking, I had invited 3 Biafran, they were Nigerians, of course, Biafran writers. The 2 of them I knew, not intimately, but I knew some of their writing. And Akwensi was one, Akwensi, and the other was Achebe. I forgot the third one. And they spoke, and they talked about their work and their literature, but the Nigerians felt that we had brought them in to give credit to Biafrans rather than to Nigerians, and they really delivered threatening statements to the audience in the sunroom. And I got very worried, and then I began to call, thinking that we might have to bring in some of the campus police to calm them down. That's when I found that there is such a thing as a whistle that someplace here that belongs, only people can use it, I think, unlock it, are vice presidents. And that's what I've been told, anyway. So, but there weren't any vice presidents on campus that night. But luckily, they finally settled down, simmered down, and we then made sure, the committee made sure, that we had a Nigerian, pro-Nigerian student on campus. All right. So let's quit. All right, just a few minutes. What impressions am I left with after 25 years of thousands of lectures, cultural events, summer lectures, focus, which I haven't spoken of at all, but in spite of many frustrations and some very difficult experiences, some jaundiced views of people like the polysyllabic William Buckley or the charlatan Mark Lane, I'm impressed more by the indomitable human spirit searched by so many for peace, social, legal justice, dauntless human spirit that is still around, and the search by so many for peace and these things. And somehow or other it defies this human spirit. I sound a little sentimental, but it defies a nice categorization. And when I cast about for outstanding representatives of these qualities, I almost inevitably seize upon those long-time survivors that we've had on campus, like Maggie Kuhn of the Grey Panthers, the Eye of Stone I mentioned, John Kenneth Galbraith, the economist, John Hausman, the actor, producer, Supreme Court Justice Douglas, environmentalist Scott Nearing, Margaret Mead, so forth and so on. And I always say to myself, if they can maintain the faith, there is still hope for us lesser beings. Okay, thank you.